Let's get spiritual. Hi guys, happy Wednesday, my friends. I hope this video is finding everyone especially well. Today, I want to talk about spirituality. My channel weaves spiritual concepts and tools in and out all of the time, but I've never talked about spirituality as a whole before. And I think it's important that I address it, especially the more and more that I lean into it in my own practice. Now, disclaimer, I am not in the business of pushing anything on anybody. I am here to simply share the tools and practices that have created the biggest impact in my own life and that of my clients. I really do trust and believe that when you watch a video of mine, you take away exactly what you're meant to and simply leave the rest. Okay, first, what is spirituality? Because some people, when they hear it, think religion. To me, I don't think of it as a religion, but I get why people do. Spirituality, in a general sense, is the belief in something greater than ourselves. And it's the study of the human spirit as it relates to the physical world. So yeah, when you put it that way, I understand why some people associate it as a religion. But as somebody who grew up in the Catholic Church and who now studies spirituality, I can easily separate the two. Like, to me, it goes way beyond what may seem to some like woo-woo concepts. To me, I mean, it's quantum physics, it's energy, it's a certain way of being in the world. It's cultivating your body and mind to reach new and intentional levels of emotion and maturity. Now, I was not always on board the spiritual train. In fact, for years, and I mean years, I resisted spiritual concepts in the coaching world. I was so resistant to it that for a while, I didn't even recognize that every self-help expert actually incorporates the laws of the universe in one way or another, even if they don't use words that are often associated with spirituality. Words like alignment, manifestation, affirmations. Anyway, I remember when I was first introduced to Gabby Bernstein, and I was like, no, I don't think so. This girl is so woo-woo, not my vibe. I am here to work hard and take action. I denied meditation, I rejected stillness, and I had this underlying judgment toward people who practiced and taught law of attraction and spiritual concepts. I was like, they're lazy. They're just trying to think their way to $1 million and not work for it. I really did think that. I had this very surface idea of what it was all about. And then after years of leading heavily with action and trying to make things happen for myself with no avail, I opened up to this new way of being and began to implement spiritual practices. And that's when my results really began to change. So let's start there. There are 12 spiritual laws of the universe. These laws, while different, all emphasize energy over action in the creation of our results. Yes, there is action to be taken, but the energy in which that action is taken is where all of our power lies. For example, if you build a business when you think I'm not good enough and feel unworthy, you are out of alignment with your true self, and your results will be a reflection of that lack in belief. If you build a business when you think I am good enough and feel worthy, you are in alignment with your true self, and your results will be a reflection of that strong belief. Okay? So the action you take from I am not good enough versus the action you take from I am good enough is going to be different and will inevitably produce different results. Now, I've subscribed to both experiences. I took action for years from a lack of belief and negative emotion, and my results, or lack thereof, were a product of that. And then after so much stress and burnout, I opened myself up and focused more on energy, aka thoughts and feelings, less on action, and that produced desirable results. By getting your energy into alignment first, you then experience what's called the flow state. It's when you're taking action and it feeling effortless, natural, and fun. It's inspired action that feels like you're swimming downstream with the current on a float drinking a margarita. It's when I'm writing and the words can't come out fast enough, or when I'm speaking to you or a client and I'm like, where the hell are these words coming from? It feels like they're coming through me. That is what's considered a co-creation with something higher, where it feels as though something is working through you. But we can't connect to that state unless our thoughts and feelings are clean and our heart and soul centered. So allow me to break this down again. There are two ways of being in the world. One, limited, separate, out of alignment, negative thought and feeling. So for example, I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. This will never work. People are judging me. I'm judging people. That energy is from the mind, from our brains that keep us separate from who we truly are. And who are we truly? Spiritual beings. And who are we as spiritual beings? Limitless, connected, in alignment, positive thought and feeling. 100% whole, 100% love, 100% abundant, 100% worthy, 100% joy. Just because we are. Because under this layer of physical body and mind, we are spirit. This state of being without any conditions from the outside world is the essence of spirituality. Our spirit is solid, it is steady, it is pure. Reminding myself of who I am all day, every day, no matter what. I am worthy. I am abundance. I am love at my core. And choosing to subscribe to this alternate way of being has changed my relationship with myself. It's changed my relationship with the work that I'm here to do and my relationship with other people. It is the difference, you guys, between identifying as your mind, which is fear-based, and identifying as yourself or your spirit, which is built on love. Now, if I've lost you, that's okay. Just think of it like this. There's fear, mind, and then there's spiritual self. That's it. Which one am I subscribing to, and which one feels better and truer? I think it was when my dad died, like 6 years ago, that it really got me thinking more deeply about life and death and humans and spirit and why really we are all here. And then I started thinking about the physical world, like about gut impulses, flow states, leaps of faith. And that's when I was like, maybe it's not just me separate and against the world. Again, I used to be this highly action-oriented person out in the world trying to prove my self-worth and claim my place. And so it felt like I was in this constant battle with myself and the world. And when we feel like it's just us and we lack support from something higher and unconditional, whatever you want to call it, higher power, universe, God, it creates this mentality of, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And life, you guys, can feel very, very challenging in that space because you think of yourself as separate and in turn create this separation and state of loneliness. Whereas believing and connecting to something higher, you never, ever feel alone. For me, I shifted completely from why is this happening to me when I was up against obstacles to why is this happening for me? Leaning on a higher power or higher self turns every obstacle into a learning opportunity for growth. It opens you up to guidance and new solutions versus drowning in the challenge. It grounds you in the knowing that something always has your back no matter what. And I know at first glance, it sounds like a nice idea, right? Until you actually start to experience and receive the guidance and support. the inspired impulses, the coincidences and opportunities, the magic of what trust and faith bring to fruition. And so I went from trying to bulldoze my way through life and goals alone to feeling fully supported as I just show up, knowing who I really am and doing my thing. Spirituality is the belief in something higher, yes. And again, it's the belief in the wholeness of who you are. It's rooted in compassion and love for yourself and for all humans. It is unconditional. This is really important. When we identify as our limiting thoughts, remember, fear-based ego mind, everything becomes conditional. Our self-worth becomes conditional on what we achieve or what other people think of us. Again, it's a very challenging place to be in. But what if we're just worthy because we are? I am worthy just because I am. You are worthy just because you are, because we're simply human beings on this planet. This spiritual knowing is everything. Yes, we make mistakes because we're humans and it's not easy being a human being. But if we subscribe to our mind, it hands us fear and judgment every single time. Choosing to subscribe to spiritual self, we're offered love and compassion every single time. What would love do in this situation? How would compassion respond here? Whether you practice spirituality in its entirety or not, it is so incredibly important, you guys, to subscribe to something else other than your mind. Otherwise, it's like having one subscription on your TV, just one channel, fear and judgment. That would be the name of the show, running 24/7 in the background. It's terrible. It's so important that you have the option to change the channel, okay? Leaning into spirituality has taught me and continues to teach me compassion. It's like the spiritual superpower. Patience, that's a big one. Trust, faith, and peace. I forgive more easily, both myself and others. I look at mistakes as opportunities for growth and why we are here. And I do not use shame to bury my imperfectly perfect self. I don't crumble as easily when things don't go according to my plan. I trust that there's something better, and I don't ever attach my self-worth to anything or anybody. It remains solid as a rock. So that's really my spiel on it. Obviously, I could talk about this for days on end, and I will continue weaving, these concepts in and out of my channel. But again, take what you want and leave the rest. I'd love to know where you're at, your thoughts, your experience. You can share in the comment box below. And of course, I'll be sure to respond. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, and yeah, I'll see you next week.